There were 12 men, so it was said, in the village of fish, 12 somber and inexplicable souls who sucked a lean milk from the almost literally bare rock upon which a mysterious populatory force had begotten them. They had become a race apart, these 12 men of fish, like some species developed by an early whim of nature, which on second thought had abandoned them to struggle and extermination. Out of the blue-black bruise in the distance crept a long line of moving lights upon the desolation of the land, and the 12 men of fish gathered like ghosts at the shanty depot to watch the passing of the 7 o'clock train, the Transcontinental Express from Chicago. 6 times or so a year, the Transcontinental Express, through some inconceivable jurisdiction, stopped at the village of fish, and when this occurred, a figure or so would disembark, mount into a buggy that always appeared from out of the dusk, and drive off toward the bruised sunset. The observation of this pointless and preposterous phenomenon had become a sort of cult among the men of fish. To observe, that was all. There remained in none of them the vital quality of illusion which would make them wonder or speculate, else a religion might have grown up around these mysterious visitations. But the men of fish were beyond all religion. The barest and most savage tenets of even Christianity could gain no foothold on that barren rock. So there was no altar, no priest, no sacrifice. Only each night at 7, the silent concourse by the shanty depot, a congregation who lifted up a prayer of dim, anemic wonder. On this June night, the great brakeman, whom, had they deified anyone, they might well have chosen as their celestial protagonist, had ordained that the 7 o'clock train should leave its human, or inhuman, deposit at Fish. At 2 minutes after 7, Percy Washington and John T. Unger disembarked, hurried past the spellbound, the agape, the fearsome eyes of the 12 men of fish, mounted into a buggy which had obviously appeared from nowhere, and drove away. After half an hour, when the twilight had coagulated into dark, the silent Negro who was driving the buggy hailed an opaque body somewhere ahead of them in the gloom. In response to his cry, it turned upon them a luminous disk which regarded them like a malignant eye out of the unfathomable night. As they came closer, John saw that it was the tail light of an immense automobile, larger and more magnificent than any he had ever seen. Its body was of gleaming metal, richer than nickel and lighter than silver, and the hubs of the wheels were studded with iridescent geometric figures of green and yellow. John did not dare to guess whether they were glass or jewel. 2 Negroes, dressed in glittering livery, such as one sees in pictures of royal processions in London, were standing at attention beside the car, and, as the 2 young men dismounted from the buggy, they were greeted in some language which the guest could not understand, but which seemed to be an extreme form of the Southern Negro's dialect. "Get in," said Percy to his friend, as their trunks were tossed to the ebony roof of the limousine. "Sorry we had to bring you this far in that buggy, but of course it wouldn't do for the people on the train or those God-forsaken fellas in fish to see this automobile." "Gosh, what a car!" This ejaculation was provoked by its interior. John saw that the upholstery consisted of 1,000 minute and exquisite tapestries of silk, woven with jewels and embroideries, and set upon a background of cloth of gold. The 2 armchair seats in which the boys luxuriated were covered with stuff that resembled duvetine, but seemed woven in numberless colors of the ends of ostrich feathers. "What a car!" cried John again, in amazement. "This thing," Percy laughed. "Why, it's just an old junk we use for a station wagon." By this time, they were gliding along through the darkness toward the break between the 2 mountains.